The Steelers had not been impressive in their first 4 games of the season, even though they won all of them. First time since 1979 they started 4-0. Yesterday, though, my goodness, they unleashed everything on the Cleveland Browns, and that defense has been awesome. First team since the 1985 Giants to have 3 sacks and an interception in each of the first 5 games of the season. And the thing Cam Hayward told me after the game, they knew you got to get off the bus and stop the run against the Browns, and if you do that, you'll be able to shut everything else down. And then they created an avalanche effect by sensing that frustration and they knew. Here it comes. We can sense that the Browns are not happy with the way things are going. This wasn't as easy as it was supposed to be. They were supposed to be better than they've been in past years. The Steelers are supposed to be beatable this year, and it just fell right into the Steelers' hands. And I said last week, if I'm going to be wrong on this one, I'd rather be wrong that way, because I just had a feeling the Browns were going to get it together, and they just, we're reminded that the Steelers are the Steelers and the Browns are the Browns. And Chris, I don't want to take anything away from what the Steelers did, but Baker Mayfield, I don't think he should have even played. He never looked like himself. Now, some of that may have had something to do with the Steelers, but when you've got this chest injury, you're talking about how you had to sleep on your side instead of your back, and you're in pain and discomfort all week.
Right.
Should you really be playing the game? Or Jay Glazer said he's going to start, but they don't know if he's going to finish, and he ultimately didn't finish. I just feel like they should have gotten him off the field sooner.
Maybe.
And maybe they should have just gone with Case Keenum from the get-go.
Well, it's certainly easy to ask that now. And, I understand what you're asking. He was obviously banged up. We know that. And then you're playing the Pittsburgh Steelers and that great defense. But it's the kind of matchup that I think like a guy like Baker Mayfield, there's no way he's missing. He's worked too hard these few years to be in some of these games finally to go, whoa, it's a meaningful, Browns-Steelers game. I'm not missing out on this. Could I understand it maybe at 17-0, maybe where they went, okay, he's not himself here. Let's make a move now. Let's not get him killed because he was taking some shots and things like that. I could have understood that. I would have had no problem with that. But, the bottom line is, the Steelers, like you said, made a statement yesterday. And it was by far their most complete football game. And we saw it all. Stop the run, turnovers, hitting the quarterback. And then I think the other thing that's really encouraging is they ran the football. And if Pittsburgh can run the football a little bit, that's why some of those wins we've talked about that are not that impressive, they can't close teams out that way. But they seem like they're kind of getting it going. Another week of we see Chase Claypool kind of infused in the offense and make some splash plays. I think they're one of the more complete teams in football. And I think yesterday was the first time the defense played a full 4-quarter dominant game like we expect them to with the talent they have on their roster.
And here's the best evidence of it, too. If you would tell me the Steelers beat the Browns 38-7, I would assume Ben Roethlisberger had 350 passing yards.
Yeah.
He had 162.
Yeah.
Right? So, it was James Conner getting over 100 yards rushing, 3 rushing touchdowns, including Chase Claypool on that jet sweep that I think is just going to become a standard part of the offense now. Because it works.
Right.
It works. Keep doing it. It works. Put it on film. There, it's on film. Oh, and we're gonna use the same format. So what? Stop it. Good luck.
Yeah.
That's coaches get so caught up, and Coach Dungy mentioned this last night. He likes it when teams will keep using plays that work.
Yes.
Who cares if it's a look that they've seen before? Who cares if they see it coming? If you can't stop it, it doesn't matter.
No, it does not. You're right. And a lot of times it's good to wear those things out, too, to where we talk about. It forces teams to then do something to stop it. And that's when you have the fake or something off it or a tree, a tree of plays off of it that screw over the defense from overplaying their hand. But I think they have found that little aspect in Claypool as the new go-to guy to where it is going to force defenses to like, oh, we break the huddle. Where's 11 at? Where's Claypool? Oh, okay. Hey, let's make our calls. He's over there this time. Hey, check this. We're doubling him, blah, 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 blah. I think he is going to become one of those guys that defenses are very aware of because he is the most dangerous guy in that offense. And, hey, Pittsburgh, Big Ben's playing smart football. He's taking care of the ball. They didn't let Myles Garrett and the defensive line ruin the game. I felt like they were very cognizant of not like getting into a drop back. We're going to throw it all over the place and let Sheldon Richardson and Myles Garrett get strip sack fumbles and put us in a tough situation. Ultimately, though, the Steelers with the pick six to start the game, right? Great. That's Steelers football. Great disguise. Minkah Fitzpatrick, touchdown. the pressures, everything like that, but the stopping the run game. I mean, we talked about that with Cleveland almost every week of the year so far, and there was nothing. I mean, nothing there to be had. So that Steelers front seven was up for the challenge, and I think, again, it shows you a little with Cleveland and Baker Mayfield. It's a big question about them. When they can't run the ball, how good are they on offense, right? I mean, at least that's a question for me, because I don't think you can just trust Baker Mayfield at this point right now either, to just drop him back 45 times a game and do that. He's going to make some mistakes, and this is just not the style of football they wanted to play yesterday.
With Nick Chubb still out, Kareem Hunt had 40 yards on 13 carries, 3.1 yard per carry average, and no rushing attempts for Odell Beckham Jr., a guy that Kevin Stefanski stumbled onto as a supplement once Nick Chubb got injured. And he was great against the Dallas Cowboys, and he had that great game. And, here's the problem with Odell Beckham, because we saw images of him yesterday slipping back into the Odell when things aren't going well. Because if they're winning, he's fine with not being involved.
Yeah.
Or if they're losing and he's heavily involved, he's fine with that.
Right.
Where the Venn diagram implodes on a team, he can't take both.
Yeah.
Because he genuinely believes if he was more involved, they wouldn't be losing.
Agreed.
And so you get both halves come together, and that's when Odell Beckham Jr. slips into that guy that you think maybe he should be traded. Maybe he is more trouble than he's worth. Maybe it is a factor on the team that isn't conducive to where they're trying to go. And I've gone back and forth now twice after week one. It's like, well, they got to trade this guy. Then it's like, hey, 4 straight wins. Well, hey, this is working. Yesterday when I saw those old familiar images of the demeanor and just the whole, it's like, is he really a benefit? Because there's going to be a game in crunch time, late in the season or in the postseason, when it's not going their way, and instead of sulking and getting frustrated, you need somebody who's going to say, let's go out and change the narrative.
Yeah.
Let's not go pout because it's not going our way. Let's go make it go our way.
Right. Well, I hear you. He did slip into some old ways there a little yesterday. I still think it's better than whatever we've seen before. Like, I do think there was some growth and maturity there. Yeah, I mean, first off,
he was less pouty.
He was less. He was. I mean, listen, he had his moments of theatrics and things like that too. But I think also, if we're going to keep it real too, he had a moment of like he was talking to the offense and like trying to lead them, and you could tell he wasn't yelling them. It's like, hey, we got to pick this crap up. Let's do this. Let's do that. This is what we've been doing. Blah blah blah. To where that was, that to me showed a little maturity to where like, oh, he's being a leader here. He wasn't trying to like, what the hell are we doing? Why am I not getting the ball? Now he had some other body language moments and some actions where, yes, I do think that. But I don't think it's to a distraction point yet or anything like that. The last 2 weeks, he has been very good for their team, like you said. Yesterday, I was shocked like you early on. They never got him the ball or got him going.
And Stefanski told me I challenged myself to get him involved early, more often. And he was kind of decoy-ish against the Colts.
He was
I don't know what the goal was yesterday. And here's the thing, too. I think he gets very conflicted in the moments where things aren't going their way, and it's bothering him, and he doesn't sense that it's bothering the people around him. Yeah. And that's where he gets – and it's I just want to win, right? In New York, when you're dealing with Eli Manning as your quarterback, who's just kind of like, well, and it works. I mean, he's got 2 Super Bowl trophies from going, but when it's a bad day, you want somebody to get pissed off and start calling people out like Tom Brady would.
Yeah,
I think that's why there's always been that magnet that's tried to draw Tom Brady and Odell Beckham Jr. together, because I think Beckham's got that same passion.
Right.
He just doesn't know what to do with it when he feels like no one else has it.
I think that's very fair. I really do. That's the way I kind of always have read it as well. It's not about a guy who wants to be mean or a jerk or anything like that. He wants to get the ball because he thinks he's awesome, yes, and he thinks he can help the team that way. And, yes, he does do that as well. And he lets the emotions maybe get the best of him at times. But yesterday, hey, even though he teetered close to the line there, I didn't think he crossed over. And like I said, that one moment I saw leadership. And then I think the other things you can look at, too, just like the clips we showed on Football Night in America, him sitting on the bench next to Baker. I'd be more worried about when it's a game like that and Baker's on the bench and you see Odell Beckham Jr. on the other side of the sideline. That's when I would go, ooh, I don't know, there might be an issue there now. But They're still there. They're still believing in what they do. And we'll see. They're a young, still figuring out, not battle-tested football team yet that's, slowly breaking down barriers, but they weren't ready for Steeler football that was hitting on all cylinders like it was yesterday. And that's why, crap, I don't know. I'm interested to see where you put the Steelers in your power rankings this week.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.